The pre-sale for badges to the Rose City Comic Con is underway. It's coming to the Oregon Convention Center September 6th through 8th, and this year's lineup is stacked. Hayden Christensen, aka Anakin Skywalker, will be there, so will Rosario Dawson from movies like Death Proof, Sin City, and Men in Black 2, and Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Oh, and they just added Nick Frost. That's right, freaking Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Plus a ton of cast members from your favorite shows and movies, along with your favorite comic book artists, authors, and so much, much more. Go buy your badges now at rosecitycomiccon.com. Today on CityCast Portland, it's all of our top picks for the month of September in food, entertainment, and everything in between. Joining me on the show are our very own producers, John Atariani and Julia Fiaioni. It's Tuesday, September 3rd. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Happy September, everyone. Welcome to the show. If you're new around here, our monthly guides are something we started doing here at CityCast Portland to just feel a bit more connected to our city because it's so easy to get stuck and just forget about all the cool things happening around you. So hopefully after you listen to today's show, you'll walk away with some new ideas for how to have the best possible September. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. I don't know, John. I always feel like I'm overselling. I'm like, this is going to change your life.
Every month is an opportunity to change your life.
It's true, Julia. It is.
I had to dig deep on this one because I think I went on the record early in this podcast's life of not being a big fan of September. I am not that into September as a month, but I did find some good stuff to do. I did find some things to warm my cold September hating heart. So
when did you say you hate September?
I feel like over a year ago, we had a conversation about it.
I love that you're like, you probably know me as September hating John, but you said it once in passing a year ago.
I appreciate the feeling, though. I think I'm not a huge fan of September either because I felt like this one was harder to put together.
Can I tell you why I think that most people have a dread for September, you guys? This is some deep-seated trauma. School starts in September, you guys. And I think that in all of our little hearts, there's that, a little residue of resentment for September.
That makes a lot of sense.
Did we have a breakthrough?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. All right, well, let's jump into things. What's a big ticket item? What event are you most excited about this month? Julia, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, I shouldn't go first.
Okay. John, do you
Not with what I picked this month. I think John should go first. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm now very excited to hear what you picked out. John, do you want to kick us off?
All right, I am now scared, but yeah, happy to go first. When I was poking around, I didn't realize that September has become the local music fest capital of the year. There's PDX Pop Now Festival is going on. Bridge City Fest is going on. But the one that I want to talk about that I'm really excited about is Lose Your Mind Fest. Do you guys know this?
Oh, I know about Lose Your Mind Fest. Yeah.
So it's a sort of independent music festival, real DIY, basically started as a series of house shows. And it's in its 9th year, and it sort of skews towards psychedelic rock. They just always program really, really interesting stuff. The group that puts it together also books shows around town over the rest of the year. And anytime I see that Lose Your Mind Fest is booking something, my interest gets piqued. But their big festival this year is happening on September 13th and 14th. It's happening at the Get Down. They got a bunch of cool bands coming in. Ulrika Spacek is coming from London. We've also got Dummy from LA. They kind of have a Stereolab vibe. 40 Feet Tall, Portland's own, is going to be playing, and a bunch of other stuff. It looks really cool and really fun.
That's really interesting because I know the people who put this on also, don't they run Lollipop Shop?
Oh, do they? Yeah, that would make sense, that it would be the same people. Mm-hmm.
That's what I always thought. It was the Lollipop Shop kids or, half of them or something. Yeah, so it was surprising when you said it was at the Get Down because for some reason I just thought it'd be at the Lollipop Shop. But is the Get Down just a larger venue? It's
a larger space. Gotcha. Yeah, and it's not far. It's probably not much more than a couple blocks away.
Oh, so. You know what? Late night free dance parties at Lollipop Shop.
Ah, there we go.
Oh man. You know what's one thing that I'm excited about this? This is the first time I've ever seen the roster where I've not recognized not one band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in my research for this, poked around and listened to a bunch of the bands, and like, it's a lot of really cool stuff. So I think it is also the kind of 2-day fest where you could just show up whenever and hear something cool that you never knew before.
Yeah, shout out Dark Swoon. They're a local band that I saw at Coffin Club last year, and they're just really awesome. Kind of like a dark, psych rocky, goth vibe. Super talented though. I'm excited that they're on the bill.
I would have never guessed that from their name.
Right? Surprise.
It's like, yeah, they're a banjo duo.
Just ripping some bluegrass.
Well, nice. John, are you going to go every night?
I think I might. Yeah, we'll see.
You're going to go every night?
Yeah,
John?
yeah. I mean, it's 2
Challenge.
nights. Jesus, John, get it together. Yes, I will go out 2 nights in a row.
I'm going to check back in with you, John. Well, Julie, what event are you picking out this month?
All right. I am pitching Stripperoke at Devil's Point. So hear me out. Devil's
Okay.
Point on Southeast Foster.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Every Friday and Sunday from 9 p.m. to 2:30 in the morning. There are strippers and there is karaoke. You with me?
I'm here. I'm still
Okay.
listening. Yeah.
So it's free to sing. You can just show up, pick a song. They throw you on stage with the stripper, and the stripper has to do an improv stripping dance to whatever song that you pick, which I think is just incredible.
Are they interacting with you or just on the side?
So these are great follow-up questions. There is a full guide on their website. The thing is that
Oh my
obviously
God.
you cannot touch them, but
That
they
was
can
about to
touch
say,
you.
yeah, there's like no touching.
Yeah. So they can touch you though. So there's some pretty wild and like very funny clips of strippers doing some like hilarious bits with the person who's singing karaoke. And it's kind of like posed as a challenge where it's like, sing karaoke with us if you can. Like you can try your best, but we're going to try our best to kind of disrupt your flow.
Oh, wow.
So it's really playful and funny. A lot of people show up. But what's funny too is that sometimes they will put on outfits that are on theme with the song that you pick.
Oh,
and there
cool.
is a whole list of songs called the Easter egg list. Some of those songs being like Africa by Toto and Come Sail Away by Styx. And it says, pick these songs and see what happens. So
Oh my gosh.
if you're interested to take it up a notch, that's also an option for you.
That sounds
my
vaguely
God.
like a threat.
It is. It is
know.
kind of like a challenge throughout the whole thing, the way that it's sold. But there's supposedly like regular patrons that go like every week. Like there's this one guy with a cane that goes and sits on the stage and the strippers just love him. So it's like a whole scene.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. What song would you sing, guys?
So the first thing that came to my mind, I was trying to think of something that would be really ridiculous, and this is extra funny to me: the chicken dance. Because one, it would be funny to dance to too. It doesn't have any words.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you karaokeing at that
What
point?
are you
You're just
doing?
standing on stage.
I don't think you can karaoke the chicken dance. I don't think that's a song you can karaoke.
To see somebody
Josh.
strip to that would be hilarious. You know, this is something that I probably shouldn't say on the air, but my go-to karaoke song is Without Me by Eminem. I actually just sang it last night.
We've already talked
at
about
karaoke.
this. Yeah,
Did we say it on the show?
Oh, people know that you have an
Oh,
Eminem.
God. I must have just blocked it from my memory.
It's already been discussed that you have a weird secret talent.
You're on the record already, Julia.
But the thing is, though, I don't think I could manage that. That's just way too much going on at once, trying to get those words out in that environment. So I'd have
Yeah.
to probably think of something else. What would you sing?
God, you know, I feel like whenever I'm forced to do karaoke and I'm just like I'll do just a dumb like pop punk song because like you can't get mad at that. You know what I mean? And also
yeah.
like everybody knows it, you know? So I don't know, like Blink 182 maybe. All the small things.
I think that's a good pick for that environment too. People could get behind it.
Or Amazing Grace. One or the other.
So regal.
5-minute song. Well, Julie, that is quite an event. You know, I've been going on K2 and helping spread some of these events for the month, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's gonna make it. I'll tell you what. I don't know if that one's
You can
gonna make
try.
9 a.m. on network TV. Yeah.
But okay, so John, you kind of said the thing that I was thinking about month of September, that there's just so much going on. Like it's oddly super eventful. Not only all of those music festivals, but there's also Rose City Comic Con, Pika's time-based art festivals coming back in full force. There's also now a new citywide Comic Con on top of Rose City Comic Con this year called Geek Week. So like so much stuff is happening. But as is life, the event that I'm actually like weirdly most excited about is happening during a time that I'll be out of town. So I'm sharing it in hopes that others will go, hint, and just tell me how it was. So I'm talking about the Portland Dragon Boat Festival, which is happening September 7th through 9th. It's free and it features dragon boats, racing, food vendors, a beer garden. And it's not just a Portland thing. There are teams coming from like all over, like California, Washington, to participate in this event. And there's 40 teams in all. The one thing I read like as part of the celebration where I was like, why? But I'm also intrigued and this is so cool. The Portland Fire Department will open the race with their fireboat spraying water into the sky along the race course. Why does that sound awesome? It just seems like a great summer end cap event.
Yeah.
And that is my personal theme during this guide is I'm only going to shout out ways to fully embrace the end of the summer. And I feel like a dragon boat festival is like peak Portland fun summer, you know?
Yeah, that sounds great. That also sounds like it would be something that would be fun to watch. I don't have a lot of desire to do dragon boat racing myself, but I am happy to cheer on my dragon boat racing.
John, did you think that you go and then just forced you on a boat?
No, I'm just saying that like I am very happy to be a spectator.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, seriously, all they had to say was, hey, there's going to be a beer garden. I was like,
yeah.
Waterfront. All I want is the waterfront and a beer garden. Portland, hear my call. Like, geez, Louise, you know, that's all I'm saying. Vancouver has this nice waterfront, and then we're just like, you know, like, come on, guys, get it together. All right.
Get it together.
Get it together. All right. Well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, more of our top picks for the month of September. Making the right senior living choice is more than just a simple move for your parents. These are long-term care plans. You need solid information and the right person to walk you through each step of the decision-making process. And Lynn Smarges is that person. She's a trusted senior advisor and placement specialist that works tirelessly to ensure your loved ones find the best care tailored to their specific needs and preferences. From independent living and assisted living to memory care, Lynn guides you every step of the way, offering advice, valuable resources, and unwavering support. She researches the retirement communities which best fits your senior family members' circumstances. Not only that, she sets up the appointments to tour these communities and walks her families through each tour, advocating for them. You can rely on Lynn to offer your family the care and compassion you need during your senior living journey, because sometimes you just need that extra hand. You can also find out more about everything Lynn has to offer by tuning into her podcast, Caring for Your Aging Parents, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite listening platforms.
Hi, this is David, the CEO of CityCast. Do you ever find yourself holding back on travel because you're afraid of a language gap? Well, mind the gap no longer, as long as you have Babbel. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app. Its 10 minutes lessons are quick and handcrafted to get you talking your new language in 3 weeks. So I was reminded in the Olympics how much I love French. I had spoken French as a kid, but it has deteriorated to nothing. But I thought I would love to take a trip back to France with my girlfriend, but I'm embarrassed because my French is at 0. And I thought, why don't I get on Babbel and revive my French? And it's been a joy for the past few weeks. I'd forgotten everything. I'd forgotten plurals. I'd forgotten articles, vocabulary. Mostly I'd just forgotten how to speak and how to listen. And Babbel has me back on track with lots of speaking and lots of listening, because that's how you get better at a language. So I've been working on time, for example. And there's this way in French where when you say 2:45, you don't say 2:45, you say 3 o'clock minus 15. So, je rentre à 3h moins le quart. I'm coming back at 2:45. Anyway, it's so much fun to speak. And don't take my word for it. There's studies from Yale, from Michigan State University that prove that Babbel works. So here's a special limited time deal for CityCast listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
The November 5th election is coming up, and City Club of Portland is here to help you learn about the local candidates and issues. Starting this week, City Club is hosting 2 free candidate forums, like this Thursday, September 5th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the University Place Hotel and Conference Center. Multnomah County Commission District 1 candidates Megan Moyer and Vadim Mazirsky are sharing their vision for Northwest and Southwest Portland. And on September 9th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Alberta Rose Theater, Multnomah County Commission District 2 candidates Sam Adams and Shannon Singleton are discussing their plans for North and Northeast Portland. You can register to save a spot and submit questions for the candidates at pdxcityclub.org/2024. And if you miss it, there'll be recordings and other helpful voter resources at the same site, pdxcityclub.org/2024. All right, well, what is everyone most looking forward to eating or drinking this month?
Yeah, so I feel like September is sort of a tricky month, right?
Okay.
Because you don't have like summer refreshing, but you don't really have like fall cozy yet. You know, it's sort of an in-between month, but it is home to one of my favorite themed weeks in all of Portland, which is Negroni Week.
Ooh.
It's been happening for a little over 10 years. Bars all across the city sort of mix Negronis. It's sort of co-sponsored by Imbibe Magazine, which is like a cocktail culture magazine. And they do a lot of this for charity. This is all benefiting
Oh.
Slow Foods.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really blown up. It's like all over the world at this point. But Portland's always been like a real big Negroni Week town. I remember that was one of the first things, the first year I was here, I was like, why is everyone so psyched about Negroni Week? I guess if you don't know, I should say a Negroni is a cocktail of gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. I find it delicious. Are you guys Negroni fans? You two seem like Negroni folks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying about the popularity of this week, though, John. When I was working as a server, so many of my friends were always talking about this. And it was funny to me because I never really thought about like the Negroni as something to like get excited about because it's such a simple cocktail. But there are different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And a good Negroni is like, ooh, it's excellent. I want to say that last year I went to Voice,
Yeah.
that like speakeasy.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Voice for their Negroni Week offerings, and like they had their because you know it's a play on the Negroni. It's not like you're not going to go to all these bars and they're just going to make you the same drink, you know. And so they had this crazy Negroni concoction coming out of like a little bird glass. It was so cool. It was really cute. Yeah. Anyhow, love that bar.
So yeah, that's coming up September 16th through 22nd. There's already 30-some bars that have signed on and probably going to be more once you actually get to it. So
I'll
it
be
should
back
be really
in
fun.
town too.
Yeah.
John, I like Negroni.
It's like, what are you doing, John?
Are we having a CityCast happy hour?
Might
I don't
happen.
know. Also, I just want to shout out that John used to be a bartender. So,
I made a few Negronis in my day. Yeah.
well, Julia, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
I am hoping to check out Floyd's Coffee House and Wine Bar. And I think it's because it's been like the weather's been shifting towards more like cozy season recently that I'm starting to think more about places that I kind of want to like nestle into and have like a nice little afternoon in. And this spot is interesting because it's located inside Ladd's Addition Circle in Southeast. And it's like so cutely decorated on the inside. It's like wood and floral decor kind of everywhere, like different kinds of wallpapers. And they're not only like a daytime spot, they're also open in the evenings as well, which I always love places like that because it makes it feel more like a neighborhood spot. You can kind of come and go as you please. And they do have events too. They have like little acoustic sets and even like psychic readings, which I think is really sweet.
That's cute.
And their menu's small, but there's like just enough of a variety to feel like you can kind of get something that you like just to snack on. And the owners have been around in Portland for forever, and they've been making coffee here since 2003, but this spot just opened up last year. So people that know what they're doing, but something new and exciting to go and check out. I don't know if either of you have heard of this spot.
Part of like Floyd's? Is this Floyd's?
Yeah, that's true. That is it. It was a part of the same brand. They ended up selling off all of their individual shops and putting everything into this spot and opening the wine bar part of it too.
I've
wanna
never
go.
been here, but this looks super cute. It's in Lad's Edition, but it's right on the central circle, like very
Shut up.
the very like
No
middle
way.
little park, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Oh
so
my
cool. No, I've never been
God.
here.
Right? Doesn't it seem like kind of like a Narnia discovery where you could kind of like just like walk through the circle and then it just appears?
Nice work, Julia.
Okay.
I have a good friend that lives not that far away from there, and I'm just like, why haven't you taken me here?
I think it's kind of like a neighborhood secret where people just like don't want other people to find out about it.
Oh, you're thinking my friend doesn't want me hanging around? All right.
Maybe you're not cool enough. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll
I let
find out.
Claudia Mesa in this place.
Oh my God. No, that looks awesome. Thank you. So
Yeah.
what I'm looking for are just more ways to get all the end of summer produce before all the strawberry and like zucchini turns into rutabagas and cabbage, you know, no diss to root veggies, but you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I researched farm to table dinners or end of summer pop-ups and I found a couple. But I'm sure they're like way more out there. So my suggestion is to look at your favorite vineyards, farms, and seasonal based restaurants and just see what they have going on this month because this is it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the two I'm going to shout out are Side Yard Farm and Kitchen, who will be hosting their final brunch of the season this Sunday, the 8th. Have you two ever been to Side Yard? I think it's in Cully.
No, I'm looking at their website. The food looks beautiful.
This looks so cool.
Right? My friend Peter and I went for a brunch about a year or so ago, and it was so freaking cute. It was delicious too. It was just so adorable. The other one I'm shouting out, just in case that sells out, because it might, you know, it's smaller, is Topaz Farm on Sauvie Island. They took over Kruger Farms a few years ago, and they're just a bit more curated, I would say, than most farms I've been to. Like they put on shows and have these amazing farm-to-table dinners. Their last farm dinner of the season, which they're calling their end of summer celebration, is on Saturday, September 21st. And I haven't gone to one yet, but I've been told by people who love to eat that they're amazing. So I've booked my seat for this one. I'll report back if it's worth the price because they are kind of pricey and I just want to mention that. So anyhow, that's what I'm looking at. What do you guys think?
Those look so great. I've never been to a meal at Topaz, but I've been to concerts there. And it is just like, oh, it's such a nice little setup. They just do a great job. It's like not too big. It's like a little bit cute, but not like crazy cutesy. Big fan.
With these farm to table dinners, are you sitting like kind of in community with everyone else? Like just kind of at a bench?
Yeah, it's not as overwhelming as it seems because especially if you bring like a friend or whatever, people kind of do their thing with
You
their
can talk
group.
to your friend.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
Your friend, you can talk to them.
I don't know.
Oh,
like
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
great.
What I'm saying. It's not like
Great tip.
they're not gonna. What I'm saying is, no one's gonna be like, pay attention to me.
Yeah,
You're here. You know what I mean? Like everyone kind of keeps to their own, is what I'm saying. But at the
That's
same time, it's
cute.
friendly enough where people are talking to each other. If you wanted that vibe, I've not been to one at Topaz, but I've been to these type of things, and everyone's just really like, hi, you know, like whatever. John, shut up. It was a great tip. I love John's like, oh, bring a friend. Oh, someone unlock the code here.
Hey, I've never done something like this, and that's
I
useful to
know.
me.
Duh, John. That was so funny. All right, so now we're going to the most useful section of this guide. What do we think is the hack of the month? So that just means like a trick or just a sage advice for like, get this done. It's September. John, you're the one with a track record of usually knocking them out of the park. Julia, do you want to go first?
I love that setup. I would love to go first.
Okay, because last time you were like, I don't want to go first. And then John said something very useful. And then you were just like, wah,
Just
wah,
made us
wah.
all
Yeah.
look bad.
So Julia, what is your hack of the month?
So this isn't much of a tip, but it is just something that like you got to do it now or it's going to disappear. The Swifts are back.
Yeah.
This is just like a really special thing that happens every year in Portland. But for listeners who don't know anything about this, all throughout the month of September, about an hour before sunset, you gotta head to Chapman Elementary School in Northwest, right where the grass hill is near the south perimeter sidewalk of the campus. Tens of thousands of Vox Swifts gather and fly into the gymnasium chimney to roost for the night. And it's just like the most like magical thing I've ever really seen in Portland. And they're kind of moving in these weird patterns, and they'll be diving into the chimney for like about an hour. So I went for the first time last year and I was just blown away. But I didn't realize that it's like typical for the same Swifts to return to the same location year after year. And according to the Bird Alliance of Oregon website, one population of Swifts has been returning to Chapman since the 1980s, which is just wild. Like, there's something so special about that and their commitment to that space and how it's kind of like their home too. But I know you guys have gone, but are you planning on going this year?
Oh, yeah. I am so psyched about the Swifts right now. We are actually going to have the Bird Alliance of Oregon on the show in a couple weeks, talking all about the Swifts. I actually had a quick call with one of their folks this morning, so I've just been like buzzing with Swifts trivia all day.
Yeah, I'm sure most of our listeners are like, yes, of course, the Swifts. But if you're new to town and if you have kids, bring some cardboard because there's a really fun grassy knoll that kids love to go down on, on the cardboard. It's just really fun. There's also just it's a school, so there's also a playground. It's very, you could bring your dog if they're well behaved. And of course, don't be obvious with any beverages. Let's just put it that way, because they're illegal. Don't ruin it for everyone.
Because
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't ruin it for the Swifts.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
And it's worth saying that, Chapman is the biggest location in Portland, but there's several other places around the city where they roost as well. So depending on where you are, you might be able to get your own little Swifts viewing if you look up in the evening this month, which is pretty special too.
Yeah, and if you're listening, you're like, that sounds really dumb. It's not. You should. Really I feel like I've taken. I'm just saying.
If that's what you
know what
think.
I'm talking about? Like, if someone tells you about this, you're like, okay, whatever. I've taken non-believers, my very jaded city friends, to this, and they're just like, they love it.
Talking bad about the Swifts is grounds for your Portland license being revoked.
That is true.
So get it together.
All right, John. What about yours?
So I was thinking about it. I think we all have sort of like a spring cleaning, regimen, but I don't think enough people think about like fall cleaning. And I think September is the right time to get like a deep clean on the interior of your car, right? Like you've been going out all summer, you've been like going hiking. It's like muddy and like dirty and nasty. I am a big fan of Washman Express Detailing. You know the Washman? My gosh. They've got like a menu of like express detailing where you can just drop off your car for an hour or two and get it like just completely cleaned up. And to do that just once a year, it's like between like $80 and $250 depending on how fancy you want to go. But then you're just like, you just feel so comfortable for like the next 3 months until it inevitably gets grimy again. It is so worth it. And like, it feels like kind of like a bougie thing to do. I can hear Claudia like whispering underneath me.
So good.
But it's really delightful and I recommend it.
That is such a sweet tip.
Did they give you a free...
I hope they do after
they
this.
give you a
God.
Is this a spot?
Somebody
John, are you doing some deals?
Claudia, if you saw my car, you would know that there are no deals happening because it has definitely not been detailed in a very long time. This is like something I am actively looking forward to for myself.
Oh my God. I love it, John. No, this is actually a really good hack.
Yeah.
Julia.
Yeah.
It is great. I don't own a car, but my partner does, and we've been on a couple road trips this past month, and
It's probably kind of nasty, right?
their front windshield is just like absolutely caked on with bugs at this point. We were at a gas station. I was like really squeegeeing that thing, and it was just not working. So,
Yeah.
good tip.
Well, mine, continuing the end of summer activities, I'm just reminding people that you gotta do the thing before the rain comes. So I'm looking at swimming holes. I'm looking at jumping in one last swimming hole. So I'm linking to our show notes this really helpful PDX Monthly article about, I think it's like 17 swimming holes within 3 hours of Portland. And one that I know I'm hitting because I've never been, and I'm gonna admit something. Julia, this is a big deal.
Okay.
I've never been to Rooster Rock.
Oh, I was just talking about this last night with someone.
It's a nude beach.
Yeah, it's a nude beach. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's nude optional. It might be one of the reasons I've not been. I'm not a big fan of wieners in the wild, but I want to go because I hear it's beautiful. Have you been, John?
I have, but like I do think this is actually like a sort of like East Portland / North or West Portland divide, right? Because you live close enough to Sauvies Island. You've been out there plenty of times.
Well, of course I've been
right?
to Sauvies, but
Yeah.
Rooster Rock is supposed to be more beautiful than like, you know what I mean?
My take is it's for the east side. Like if you live on the east side, you go to Rooster.
Interesting.
Okay.
Over here, you go up to Sauvies.
I don't know, man. I just want to go to a swimming hole. John, where do you live? Let's go to your back.
You know where I live.
John, shout out your address. We're just all going to go to John's house. We're going to get a kiddie pool.
Why John's house?
Is your goal to go swimming at my house? That's you're going to be disappointed.
Why don't you get a kiddie pool for your house?
I just think it's funny.
Bummer summer, Claudia.
Have you gone swimming this season yet? Have you guys gone into a swimming hole?
I actually went into the ocean for the first time a couple weekends ago. I was out in Yachats and just went right in. It was wild. I've not been in the Oregon Coast Ocean before, and it was like super freezing. But the coolest thing about it is there was a seal like 20 feet out in the distance. Granted, I thought it was a bald man. And I was like, oh my God, how is that man swimming like that? I was panicked. And I was like, oh, it's a seal.
It's a bald man. Yeah,
It was
Yachats
really
is
nice.
beautiful. Did you jump into Thor as well?
No, I don't.
No.
No.
That is
Don't do
listeners,
that.
that is not advice.
Nobody jump into Thor as well.
We cannot handle the lawsuit that would come from saying that you heard about it on CityCast Portland.
John, where did you go swimming?
I've hit a couple spots. I mean, mostly just Cathedral Park, you know?
Yeah.
Downtown St. John's. I've definitely jumped in there a few times. And I've made it up to the Washougal River, too, in Washington State.
I haven't gone to enough places.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I got to do it. So yeah, that's my hack. If what you need to do this summer is go kayaking, if you haven't done the thing that you're like, oh, I've been waiting to do this thing for the summer, go do it now.
Go do it.
Go do it. All right, we're at the part of this guide where we go over all the things that we listed and we decide which is our favorite and what we're all going to do together. Basically, we're voting for what we consider is the best amongst us.
Well, I can start by saying I'm definitely not going to stripperoke with the two of you.
Damn. I was counting
I hope
on
you two
it.
go. Have a nice time. I'm going to sit that one out.
All right, fine.
Sorry, Julia. I have to agree with John. I just don't think it's a work event. That is all.
I think it's fair. You know, when I was researching this, I felt a little strange looking at the website on my work
Your
computer.
work computer.
but
It's for my job, I promise.
I swear.
It is for work. But anything else looking good for you, though, John, for the events?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am fascinated by Floyd's. I definitely want to check that out. And like Claudia, I'm really sort of enchanted by your picks, too, for these end of summer harvest meals. Yeah.
Ooh. Are we going to go take over a small corner of a farm table so Julia doesn't feel all awkward and alone?
We'll go with you, Julia. We'll be your friends.
Honestly, a better idea. Let's plan like an afternoon work sesh at Floyd's and then go see the Swifts. Right?
Excellent.
Like a Friday?
Yeah.
Stop for a Negroni along the way.
Perfect.
I love this. Okay, no, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Floyd's, Negroni, Swifts. All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
I think that works. I'm 100% there. I think we got our winner right there.
We got it. Ding,
All
ding, ding.
right.
People listening at home, we want to know what you're doing this month. What was your favorite? I would love to hear it. Portland at citycast.fm. If you go to any of these things, do any of these things, please tag us at CityCastPDX. That's our handle on Instagram. We'd love to see you guys enjoying September. Thank you so much, John and Julia, for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.